Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, Dr. Dion George, has taken the battle to the European Union carbon adjustment mechanism at COP29. The minister has been locked in meetings with the EU delegation on the CBAM that threatens the economic prosperity of South Africa in the automotive sector. CBAM threatens South Africa's progress due to European countries determining the country's transmission from carbon-emitting vehicles to electric vehicles. The National Business Initiative is also worried about the markets that South Africa exports to if the transition of the automotive sector doesn't speed up. Minister George views the European Union Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism law that will further benefit the developed North unjustly against the developing Global South.
I'm referring, for example, let's take CBAM, for example, the proposed tax on our economy that we're very displeased about. We've been having some really constructive conversations with the European Union because our position is very crystal clear on that, is that imposing a tax on South Africa's economy, we know what it's for, etc. The fact is the impact on our economy is not going to be positive and we don't like it. So we've said we must find a way where we can soften the blow on this tax. We need to look at some kind of circularity, etc. There's going to be some discussion on the various directives applicable to this tax, and that conversation has already started. So because it doesn't make sense that it is much less expensive for developed economy countries to get capital. It is much more expensive for developing economies to pay for their capital. And what then happens is you have a flow of money from the south to the north. And if you impose a tax on us, you're doing that at an even faster rate. And that is not acceptable. Because if everybody's claiming to really want to do what they say they want to do, well, we want to alleviate the pressure of poverty and inequality in the world, that's not the way to do it. So we've made it very, very clear.
The G20 presidency also dominated discussions as South Africa takes over from Brazil next year. South Africa will champion the economic needs of the continent and its own economic growth.
And what's very much on the mind of Africa and South Africa is the fact that the cost of capital is too high. And what is happening is that there is a flow of finances from the global south to the global north. And that is not working, and it's making the people of the south poorer and poorer and poorer. And it's not working for anyone. So that's the big piece that we will be discussing. So that is one of the top priorities.
Taking a hardline stance, Minister George says he's not in COP29 to make friends, but to conclude deals that will benefit South Africa economically.
That I'm a politician and not a diplomat. And so therefore I might phrase it in a little bit more blunt of a way, but that's just fine. I didn't come here to make a whole lot of friends. I came here to get an outcome for South Africa, for our region, for our continent and for the world. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Negotiations on the new collective quantified goals continues, but with the developed North not willing to free up the balance sheet that will ease the transition to green energy. Samkele Masego, SABC News, Baku.